Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick-Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Noom Wreathus from Zentangle. Okay, this is one of the new releases from Zentangle, and this is actually a tangulation or variation on the tangle Noom from Zentangle. And actually, they had to go look back. They had Wreathus. Noom Wreathus was in parentheses, so you might just hear this one called Noom, and that's what I did, because it's been out for a while, and it's super moon backwards, and anyway, it is a neat tangle. I remember having so much trouble when they first released this, but it's gotten a lot better. Sometimes with practice or just with experience doing other tangles, it helps. All right, so this one, I'll put it in the link. So when we did this at our Zen Again event, we did it like this on a phi tile. And I decided as I was doing it, I'm like, well, I usually work on a square, so we're going to kind of do it on a square. But just know, it's doing Noom in, well, I wanted to say it was doing it in the round, but there's some interesting differences that we found from doing it just regular. And I don't know, it's just interesting. So like this is it just regular. And when we do it this way, there's this twisty bit that, yeah, I guess unless I carry things out, it just ends up a little bit different, and it's super interesting. Okay, so here's how we do it. Number one, it's a bunch of S shapes, maybe a C in here or there, but for the most part, S shapes. Now this one, you do have to make sure to, and I'm saying this for me, keep some room on the outside. Well, we'll see how I do. Okay, so first S shape, and like I said, I'm just going to do it in this square. And like I said, a big S shape, so let's hold our breath. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I didn't leave a whole room on the outside, did I? No, I didn't. But it should be fine. Okay, so there's a first S. Then we're going to turn the tile, and in here somewhere, in this curve, is where we'll start the S coming down. And if you're doing it in a bigger circle, or like I said, if you're doing it, like this, that's just spread out, you would maybe just angle it more. This one, we're just going to come straight down. Like that. And turn, rinse and repeat all of that. And then we have just these two. Like so. Looks like cadent, doesn't it? I have to find where I had seen it. Maybe it's in my Zenthology that, we get from Zentangle when we're certified. Because there was a version of cadent, and it might have been the playing around with I've lost the, well, no, I guess it was cadent. There's a squared version of cadent. This is actually, with the curvy lines, is really a tangulation or variation. But there was one where, like, if you picture the orbs here, it looked like that, and it was really, really neat. I'll have to find it. All right. And this looks cool as it is, as I was going on about it. So here's what we do. We're going to hollow bow, and let's see. And I'm going to go to the outside first. Honestly, it doesn't really matter which direction you go. But here's the way I was describing it on, we had fun with this on Tough Tangle Tuesday. And here's how I was describing it. So I'm looking at this here and this here on all four sides as loose ends. And what we're going to do is hollow bow this loose end over to this side. And if you don't know what hollow bow is, it's the art of drawing underneath. So while this is just a space, it's going to become something. So we're going to hollow bow under that. And so whatever way your pen wants to work best, mine wants to work here apparently. So I'm going to take this out. I'm air drawing it. It's like, okay, where do I want that to be? And if you want to draw just a little mark, feel free. And what's neat is depending on how big, like this, there's a big gap. So like I could make this come up here and it's not going to look weird. So, it's Halabow-ish, I guess you could say. All right, now, from here, we're going to do a big, you could look at it as a C shape. I like it as an S because it had a little flare at the end there to, as it's merging in. Up to you, of course. So I'm going to continue this line like that, just merging in. And I have been going like a little bit more than halfway. Honestly, wherever it lands, and it's fine. And we're going to do that same thing for all of these ones on the outside. And like I said, you find where that space is. And you can see how, if you've done the Tangle poke leaf, let me do this again here. I mean, it looks like if this was like that looks like the one half of the stem, right? When we do poke leaf. And I think it looks really, really neat, even if we were just to leave it like that, especially when we get these other ones done. Whoops. See, in this one, it's kind of straight. So like I said, you could just bring it up like that and over. And this one too. I don't know, I'm finding putting the little mark is helpful because that way then I can move my hand like that to where I want it. And like I said, it looks really neat if you were just to stop there, Okay, but as you can see, we have, if we'll call these like leaf shapes, right? We have those 4. So now we're going to work on the inside. Something else I noticed on our Tangle Time sessions is I was kind of working in a clockwise fashion, and drawing this way. If I was holding it straight, we like to the right or clockwise. We're going to go opposite because here's this other loose end and we need to find its, we're hollowing under this space. It's the same idea, but again, we're coming the other direction and working counterclockwise. And like I said, same idea. These are much shorter because, this you have a greater distance and this not so much. And I'm going to do it this way because, my hand likes it better that way. All right, and same thing, just, air draw, find where you're going to have that, and then just, I don't know, I like not working to not think so much about it. This one, I have a big space. There we go. And and then it's like, all right, big space. And where am I coming back to? Up here. And then last one. Like that. All right, now we still have what looks like loose ends in the middle, right? Here's what we do with those. And, okay, we'll take this one first. Another S shape. So I like to position these like for whatever reason. If I see it like this, that just helps me because what we're going to do is an S shape here or a curvy line, right? It's either an S or a backwards S. This one is more of a backwards S. So we're just putting a line in between those two. And then if you want to, right at the same time, you can, or you don't have to. But we're going to bring that end back to the line we just passed. And then you can fill those in. And it creates what I love to call the Acme hole. I mean, it's sort of the Acme hole. It is a magical hole that things fit in. All right. And then, like I said, I like to bring it this way so that way, I can just put this curvy line in here like so. And we'll do that for all of them. And as we had fun with this on Tough Tangle Tuesday, it was so cool to see what everybody did. And then, sometimes when things went awry, and of course we encourage when things do go awry, just go with it, see what happens. And there were some really, really neat things that happened. And I try to remind everybody, when I remember what you did or didn't do, so that way you can replicate it later. Oh, and that is it. Now, up to you if you want to aura. You can aura the insides or the outsides. You could play with tangles in them. It's just a lot of fun. And that, I'm going to finish that. There we go. All right, now for some shading. Oh, let's see. Pencil. All right, this one, sometimes I have trouble deciding where exactly do I want to do this here shading. And, it's kind of up to you where you can decide, well, what's under what? And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick this right here. Let's just start here because I feel like it. I was playing with that earlier, and I'm just going to do the one side. So the one that's towards the center. We'll pick that first. And we'll just bring it out a bit. And honestly, there's a bunch of ways that you could do this. Because I see this as a twist. It could look like a piece of something that's twisted right there. So I'm going to bring the graphite up and just follow that a little bit. Yeah, that looks neat. And then, we have this. So it's like there's a lot of over and under going on. And hard to decide because you don't want too much graphite because then it's just going to be gray. So this is where you get to have fun and play. And I'm thinking, because every time I do it, I think of something different. I'm like, well, I just don't know. But let's try this. Because I'm kind of seeing, while this, this is tucked in down here, maybe it's coming up and over and into here, casting a bit of a shadow here, and maybe even up here. I don't know. I just want to make a nice gradient of it. Oh, so that's interesting. Okay. And then the rinse and repeat idea, and I'm just kind of going light because I'm not 100% committed, I guess. As if I'm going to use an eraser, right? Heck no, we just do with whatever we, whatever happens, happens. Okay, kind of like that. And then, as long as my opinion, as long as we're consistent with whatever we do, it's going to be fine. And with Zentangle, we really, that's one of the things is we don't necessarily worry about light source. And of course you can. There's so many things that we, like I said, that we don't worry about. That is fine if you do. If you understand that and it's second nature, of course. But if you're like me and you're like, no art background, and so I get it. It's not second nature. I have to think about it. So sometimes it's just like, well, what looks like it's tucked under something else? Or where are things gathered? Where does it seem like it makes sense to add graphite? And then sometimes it's just guessing. But look at that. That's kind of neat. Let's bring this out a little bit more. And it's just, there's no right, there's no wrong. Yeah, it looks neat. All right. And so on our Tangle Time sessions, as I mentioned, we played with this, and then we played with a neat technique using Muka. We'll maybe do that on something else. Well, if you watch the replay, which I'm going to work very hard to get out, you will see what we did here in the center. This one I ordered the outside and the inside, and was inspired by somebody else that put a bunch of orbs in, and always inspired by Miss Rosemary, that to make it look all shiny and glassy as much as possible. And then this one, I did the inside with the aura and some shading and highlighting, and it turned out rather neat, if I do say so myself. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please click on the like button, and if you liked it enough to see more, would love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. In the description section, you will find links to the step outs. Actually, you'll only find links to the step out because it is only mine. When Zentangle releases, puts it out on a blog post, I will come back and put that link in the description section. But just know for now, you're stuck with my version. And like I said, you can have fun with it. It doesn't have to be square. It can be round. It can be, rectangle-y, as I mentioned with this one. It's whatever shape you want it to be. Let's see. Below the links to the step outs in the description section, you will find my link tree. And this is a free class that I do once a month, usually on the third Tuesday of the month, Tough Tangle Tuesday. The other free sessions that I do are called Tangle Time, where we don't, I work to not have the hard ones. This one kind of, it's hard for some people. It's not hard for other people. That's how they all are. So we tackle the sometimes more difficult, or just ones that have more steps, or take a little bit more focus. That all constitutes tough in my book. So if you want to come and join us, there are links on my link tree on where you can follow me for classes. My website, I have them posted right now. I don't have a way for you to say register and then follow. I'm working on stuff. It's just going really slow. So that way I'm not necessarily reliant on Facebook and Eventbrite. And then too, if you really like the sessions, let me know. Send me an email or let me on a class. Email's probably best. And I do have a list that I put where I have my own list. It's very manual. And when I put out classes, then I have this list that I automatically invite right from the platform that I use. So you could do that. So there's a way. I just don't have an automatic way to do it right now. So what else is there? We have a Tangle Addicts community group on Facebook. So if you want to come and join us there, click the link and then answer the 4 questions, and that will get you in. Let's see, classes. Everything is really self-explanatory on there. I just like to make sure to highlight some of the important stuff because I do have quite a few links on there. All right, so. And I mentioned subscribing because when I get the replay out, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, it'll be on there. It's on there first. And then if you go to my website, subscribe to my blog, that's the second place that I post it. And then once I have those posted, then it goes to my Facebook page and group and stuff like that. So subscribe someplace and you'll get the information. All right. So with that, thank you again so much for watching. And I wish you happy tangling.